All right, and good evening. It is January 12th, Tuesday, January 12th, 5:17 p.m., and we're live here. I'd like to do a reading from Mark chapter 1. And so I'm going to go ahead and read it out of a Young's Literal Translation. This is Mark chapter 1, and we're going to go down to verse 21. And let's say, and they go on to Capernaum, and immediately on the Sabbaths, having gone into the synagogue, he was teaching. So they're talking about Jesus here. And it goes on to say they were astonished at his teaching, for he was teaching them as having authority and not as the scribes. And there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit or demon, and he cried out, saying, "Away, what to us and to you, Jesus of Nazareth? Thou didst come to destroy us. I have known thee who thou art, the Holy One of God." Now, again, this is Young's literal translation. And Jesus rebuked him, saying, "Be silenced and come forth out of him." I'll read a better translation real quick to you. And it says, "And they went into Capernaum, and immediately on the Sabbath, he entered into the synagogue and he taught. And they were astounded at his teaching, for he taught as one having authority, and not like the scribes. And immediately there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, What have we to do with you, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." Now, it's interesting here, the term Holy One. It means holy like we would think, as far as sacred or morally blameless, consecrated, but it also refers to Jesus in the sense that, excuse me, since the days of Adam, they haven't seen anyone like Jesus. And this is the thing that this demon recognized. Since Adam, since God created mankind without sin in a glorified state, they hadn't seen anything like Jesus. He was the second Adam. So you're looking at thousands of years between Adam and Christ. And again, so this is very, very unique. Now, the reason why this demon told him, "I know who you are," it was sort of like saying, what do you have to do with me? But at the same time, or what do I have to do with you? But at the same instance, at the same time, the reason why he told Jesus, "I know who you are, the Holy One of God," was because in that time, and even in our modern times, there is this belief, whether you want to call it spiritual, mystical, even in these ancient magical tomes and texts and traditions, there is this belief that if you know their name, then you can control them. And we see this with some modern day, like self-professed exorcists or people that would cast out demons or devils. They claim that they'll ask them, what is your name? Because they want to know, like that name somehow gives them power over that demon, over that spirit, over that entity. And the same here, this demon was talking to Jesus. He recognized who he was as far as being the Holy One, but at the same time, he wanted to exercise dominion over Christ. Well, at least that's what we can infer by the cultural context here, because again, that's what that meant. It says, "The unclean spirit, having torn him and having cried with a great voice, came forth out of him," because Jesus just said, "Be quiet and go." Now, it's also interesting, the setting, right? I really do like to get into the cultural and historical aspect here, and you have the questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Well, the setting is a synagogue. Now, the synagogues were formed during the captivity, when the Jews were taken away to Babylon. They had no temple, so they would meet. After that, they would meet in a synagogue. It was like a meeting place. So this wasn't specifically a temple or a tabernacle, but a synagogue was where they would go to worship, but where they would also go to teach. So, in a modern sense, it's sort of like a meeting hall. It's sort of like a seminary. It's sort of like a place to go and learn. They did have visiting teachers that would come in and instruct, which is what Jesus was doing at this point also. So this is just a brief introduction, and we will talk about this further. And again, unclean spirit, demons. Well, we're talking about the Nephilim, right? So this is where it gets interesting as well. And there are various theories and various concepts and beliefs when it comes to what demons are, whether they're fallen angels, whether they're the Nephilim, which are the offspring of the angels that went and married the daughters of men, like in Genesis 6. And that's what we're talking about right here. And another interesting thing is in this synagogue where people would go to worship, where teachers would go to instruct others in the things of God and in their faith, that you have this person possessed with a demon, right? Right there. And right in the presence of Jesus as well. And so quite interesting. And it doesn't say who he was as far as whether he was there to teach, whether he was there to learn. But either way, our Lord made an open show of him and cast him out. All right. Well, thank you, and you take care. You all have a great day. God bless you, and we'll talk again. Bye-bye. There you go. Nothing great, but